He's not finished. I see him. I see Tyson. I'm thinking, you lot are idiots that believe that he's done. He ain't done. He ain't gone
I'm
anywhere.
not so sure. Well, let's move on to Tyson Fury. Do you think he's done? Do you think he'll fight again?
That would be the one I want immediately. That would be the most fight that I'd want next.
In England? Thank you, everyone.
In England, for sure. I only want a fucking fair fight. I don't want any favours. I want a fair fight and a fair result.
Got Derek Chisora, got the Smiths in the front row here, Vinell Riley, Spencer Oliver, Johnny Nelson. Roy Jones seems to be kind of just turning away and hiding from the prospect of, I'm going to go on the punch machine maybe, but...
Tyson Fury's retirement earlier this year has stirred considerable debate within the boxing community, with some experts suggesting that the Gypsy King is far from finished, despite his announcement following a second defeat to Alexander Usyk in December 2024. Many insiders believe this move is more strategic than final.
But he's a personality, and when Tyson Fury is in full flow, there's no more charismatic athlete than him. Do you think he's going to be, if he does indeed hang his gloves up, do you think this will be a body blow for the heavyweight division?
I think he'll be sorely missed, without a doubt. It's not just that he's a big personality and he sells fights so well and he's a big character, and the press conferences, the build-up to fights and what he delivers in the ring. The guy is a serious talent, and he'll be missed when he's retired. That is for sure.
Former WBO cruiserweight champion Johnny Nelson, a respected voice in boxing, has openly criticized fans who accept Fury's retirement at face value, calling them idiots for underestimating the fighter's mindset. Nelson argues that Fury's retirement is a negotiation tactic designed to increase his value for future fights, a strategy Fury has employed multiple times throughout his career. Given Fury's history of retiring and then returning, Nelson is confident that the 36-year-old is not done competing and will step back into the ring sooner rather than later.
He's not finished. I see him. I see Tyson. I'm thinking, you lot are idiots that believe that he's done. He ain't done. He ain't gone anywhere.
I'm not so sure. Well, let's move on to Tyson Fury. Do you think he's done? Do you think he'll fight again?
I think he'll fight again.
Yeah.
He's not done. He's not gone. There's a few fights that use the word retirement as a negotiating skill.
Yeah, well, he's done it 3, 4, 5 times before, though, hasn't he?
5 times now. So I think Tyson Fury is one of them. There are a few fighters that should retire when they won't. There are very few fighters that retire and say, I'm done. Lennox Lewis, I'm done. Mike Tyson retired, come out of it, and you think,
The
why
Cobra
you do
retired.
That? Yeah, when you're done, you're done. You know what I mean? And I'm quite sure there was a lot of big carrots that were hung out in front of you. And I know you keep whining the shit out of Jake Paul and people.
That's not fighting, though, is it? Let's be honest.
This perspective gains weight considering reports that Fury has already agreed to a fight with Anthony Joshua, a bout that fans have eagerly anticipated for years. When initially discussed, both Fury and Joshua were undefeated and considered among the greatest heavyweights in history. However, with both fighters now carrying losses, the hype surrounding their potential clash has diminished somewhat. Despite this, there is still hope that the fight will materialize before the excitement fades further, avoiding a scenario similar to the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight, where the spectacle did not quite live up to the build-up.
Okay, so the question was, in case people couldn't hear it from Derek Chisora, if the money was right, would he fight Anthony Joshua under the auspices of the IBA? And, well, you heard the answer, 100%. So let's see. 100%. 100%.
However, not all voices are convinced of Fury's imminent return. In May 2025, Fury himself publicly reaffirmed his retirement, stating that he is content with his achievements and has no urgent desire to return to the ring. He emphasized that he has nothing left to prove and expressed no interest in enduring the physical toll of boxing again. This statement came amid swirling rumors fueled by images of Fury sparring and his manager hinting at new boxing gear purchases. Despite these hints, Fury's stance remains firm. He is retired and intends to stay that way for the foreseeable future.
It shows you how relevant I am in the game and how hungry they are for Achilles to come back. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy. I've won everything I've had to do. Listen, my last fight was a clear fucking victory for the Gypsy King. Anyone in boxing can see that. A complete load of dog shit, yeah? Political, whatever you want to call it, and everything did an interview, just left the ring. As soon as that thing was announced, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But I accept it, I'm a man, I don't make excuses. On with the next thing. Got paid, got laid, got out of there, happy days. Went home to my family, and now I'm happy, you know. I'm at home in Morecambe, I train twice a day, I go out, I can have a beer when I want, I go eat what I want, I stay out late, I can do what the fuck I want. You know why? Because I've earned the right to.
The question of who Fury might face if he does return remains open. While the Joshua fight has been the most talked about potential matchup, some reports suggest that Fury's comeback might be aimed at a different opponent altogether. This adds another layer of uncertainty to the heavyweight division's future and Fury's plans within it.
I don't know. Dubois is very young, ambitious, big, strong man. And Usyk's very experienced. But again, he's coming off of two fights with me, which is debatable whether he won them or not, which he didn't win them, but he got the decision, which is all that matters. He's 38 years old. You know, if I was going to come back, I'd come back for Usyk. But I want a fair result in England.
Would he be the only fighter that you'd come back for?
That would be the one I want immediately. That would be the most fight that I'd want next.
In England?
In England, for sure. I only want a fucking fair fight. I don't want any favours. I want a fair fight and a fair result, which I believe, and I know I didn't.
How did you score that second fight?
I thought I won it by 5 rounds. I've watched it literally 250 times. And each way, I never ever see it as a way for him to win. But
Promoters and insiders remain cautiously optimistic about the Fury-Joshua fight. Eddie Hearn has emphasized that the fight's success depends on timing and the fighter's willingness to commit. He notes that if Joshua suffers another loss, the fight might not be viable, and Joshua's career could be in jeopardy.
He's good. He's coming tonight. He's obviously had that operation, getting back into the gym. He'll fight November, December, and we're just starting to ping a few WhatsApps backwards and forwards regarding possible opponents. Nothing really to give you on that, but you know he's always going to fight a top 15 guy. You know, we know that the preference, of course, would be to go into those Tyson Fury fights next year. So we can't afford to lose, but it can happen in the heavyweight game. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure on him because a lot of fighters will say, oh, he's coming to the end. And I don't think he's going to fight forever, for sure. But right now, he's loving life, he's motivated, and he's very excited to return to the ring.
Most analysts agree that if Fury does return, it will be for a very specific reason, a trilogy fight against Alexander Usyk, and crucially, this fight would need to take place in the United Kingdom. Fury has been vocal about his dissatisfaction with the judges' decisions in their previous 2 fights, particularly the unanimous decision loss in December 2024, which he strongly disputes. This stance has been echoed by many boxing commentators who see the trilogy as a natural conclusion to one of the most competitive heavyweight rivalries in recent years.
I would have loved to fight Anthony, you know, but Anthony right now is just recovering, getting ready for his biggest fight with Tyson Fury. You know, so now I will push on to either fight Joseph Parker, you know, or I'll fight somebody else, you know. But right now, I'll just wait for the undisputed to happen in Wembley with Daniel and Usyk, and then after that, I'll know exactly where my position is.
The heavyweight division's current landscape also plays a role in the discussion. Usyk's upcoming defense against Daniel Dubois adds urgency to the potential trilogy, as a win for Dubois could reshape the division and delay or complicate Fury's return. Meanwhile, Joshua's recent setbacks and injuries have affected his standing, making the timing of any Fury-Joshua fight critical. Analysts suggest that if Fury is to return, it will need to be soon to capitalize on the current heavyweight dynamics and maintain fan interest.
Let me tell you something, if they don't give it, listen, put it, whatever you think is happening is not happening. Go the other way, yeah? Because big news will be announced soon anyway. That's all I gotta say.
Adding to the complexity, Fury's manager has hinted at the possibility of a showdown with Anthony Joshua as Joshua nears a lucrative 3-fight deal in Saudi Arabia. This suggests that negotiations and strategic planning are ongoing behind the scenes, keeping the door open for a high-profile bout between the 2 British heavyweights. Such a fight would undoubtedly capture significant attention given the fighters' histories and fan bases.
Well, first of all, I think they've got to sign the deal first. That's the most important part. Obviously, what they're very good at, the Saudi Arabians, is a course, a road, and they want to know what road it is. And if they can get the road in the right place, then they'll sign whatever deal you want, as long as you're happy and they're happy with it. But they think forward. So it's a great move for Anthony Joshua, isn't it? A 3-fight deal. Amazing, amazing. Is Tyson's retired? Like I say, we never know though, do we? But he's very busy at the moment. He's actually in the best place I've ever seen him. He's 12 pounds above his fighting weight as well.
Another intriguing angle is the idea of a trilogy fight between Fury and Alexander Usyk. Fury has expressed that a third fight with Usyk, especially if held in the UK, could convince him to come out of retirement. This prospect highlights Fury's competitive spirit and his desire to settle unfinished business in the ring. A trilogy fight would also be a highly anticipated event, potentially reigniting Fury's passion for boxing and providing fans with a thrilling conclusion to their rivalry.
Tyson Fury, I've literally just watched this. I did a Scrum interview. I miss Tyson Fury. I really do. I actually love Tyson Fury. I know everyone associates me with AJ, being an AJ fanboy, but trust me, I love Fury. Not the same, because it's different. The AJ thing for me is obviously British Nigerian like myself, so I gravitate to him. But I just love Fury as a personality. I love him as a boxer, and I'd love to see him have a couple more knocks. But he spoke about the fact that he spoke about his health, which was interesting, which is important as well. Not a lot of fighters talk about their health as much as they should. And Fury's had a few really tough fights.
Despite the ongoing speculation, some experts believe that both Fury and Joshua may be nearing the end of their careers. Johnny Nelson, while optimistic about Fury's return, has also suggested that both fighters might be done in terms of their prime competitive years. This view aligns with the reality that both men have suffered significant losses recently, which could impact their ability to perform at the highest level.
So financially, it's a great package. So if you can talk yourself into it and think, you know what, I'm going to get probably 50 mil for this, you know, it's humbling. You can only have so much money. They're very rich men, so they've got to be able to motivate themselves to give their all. Forget about what the purse is. They've got to motivate themselves to make sure they get the win, because if they don't, it's going to be. I know many fighters that have done that to the back end of their career, and they're still struggling 10, 15 years after their career because of the way they've gone out. So it's about confidence and self-belief. Maybe that is the only fight that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua can get themselves up for to bring their A game.
Fury's own reflections on his career and mental health add depth to the discussion about his future. Known not only for his boxing prowess, but also for his openness about mental health struggles, Fury has spoken candidly about the challenges he has faced outside the ring. His journey from battling depression and suicidal thoughts to becoming a mental health advocate illustrates a man who has endured much more than just physical fights. This personal growth and advocacy work may influence his decision to remain retired or return, as he balances his well-being with his competitive drive.
Got Derek Chisora, got the Smiths in the front row here, Vinal Riley, Spencer Oliver, Johnny Nelson. Roy Jones seems to be kind of just turning away and hiding from the prospect of I'm going to go on the punch machine maybe, but well, the man next to him, I'm sure would oblige. Well, gentlemen, thanks very much. It's always great to see you.
The president just mentioned, he said this Tyson mentioned IBA Pro belt. You started from IBA, haven't you? Did you start from IBA?
I did, yes.
IBA would be fantastic if you could finalise your career with IBA Pro.
I'd love to.
Talk to the man.
For sure.
Talk to the man.
Speak to Spence, we'll sort it out. September, October, November, December, I'm ready.
It's like availability calendar.
100%. Let's go.
There's another one. That's another IBA Pro contender there.
If the money is right, would you fight AJ under the suspension of
100%.
Okay, so the question was, in case people couldn't hear it, from Derek Chisora, if the money was right, would he fight Anthony Joshua under the auspices of the IBA? And, well, you heard the answer, 100%.
The heavyweight division's landscape is further complicated by the timing of potential fights and the fighters' current conditions. Fury's December rematch with Usyk in Riyadh was a focal point, with Fury promising a knockout rather than a points decision, signaling his intent to dominate decisively. Meanwhile, Joshua has been recovering from a loss to Daniel Dubois, which has affected his standing and momentum. Fury has maintained that no matter how long it takes or how many fights Joshua loses, they will eventually face each other, underscoring the inevitability of their clash for British boxing fans.
I saw some highlights, and listen, you can't judge too early. He's had a big layoff, he's back, he's had some losses, and he's got to rebuild. But look, he's in there and he's doing it. So let's see, fight by fight.
Would you still have interest in possibly seeing him face Anthony Joshua?
Listen, it's a fight, whatever's best for them.
The heavyweight division's landscape is complicated by the fact that both Fury and Joshua are coming off losses and are considered by some experts to be on the tail end of their careers. While Joshua has been rebuilding after his defeat to Usyk, and Fury has faced back-to-back losses to the same opponent, both fighters remain significant draws in the sport. Their potential fight is seen as a generational clash, a mega fight that could reignite interest in British heavyweight boxing despite recent setbacks.
Badly, I want to see it. I want to see it next. I think now's the perfect time to get that fight. Two of them, I'm not shocked, but two of the confidence is not as high as it was. Joshua's coming off the back of a couple of losses in Usyk, Dubois. Fury's coming off the back of 2 losses against Usyk now. He's not invincible no more. So, yeah, I think now's the perfect time for them both to fight. As a fan point of view, I think now is the best time for them to fight also.
The buzz surrounding Tyson Fury's potential comeback has intensified in recent months, with analysts and insiders weighing in on what could motivate the Gypsy King to return to the ring. Since his retirement announcement in January 2025, following 2 losses to Alexander Usyk in 2024, Fury has remained a figure of intrigue in boxing, largely because of his history of multiple retirements and returns. This pattern has led many experts to believe that his current retirement may not be permanent.
I mean, prior to the Usyk fight, I mean, there were genuine discussions as to where Fury ranks as one of the best heavyweights of all time. Now that he's been beaten by Usyk back-to-back, those discussions are no more. But he didn't really seem interested in the AJ fight. Like, there was no interest. I don't know who it was that asked him about AJ, and he was like, no. Like, I think someone said, do you regret not fighting AJ? And he was like, no. As soon as someone mentioned Usyk to him, he said that is the only fight that he would come back for. All right? I mean, again, Usyk does it to these guys. That's the only fight. Which leads me to believe that everyone, and when I say everyone, I mean AJ, Fury, Parker, Caballel, Bacoli, everyone isn't making a decision.
Adding to the urgency, Eddie Hearn, Joshua's longtime promoter, has gone public once again with pleas directed at Fury. He expressed that fans, fighters, and the entire boxing community are tired of the drawn-out saga and deserve closure. Hearn acknowledged the excitement that still surrounds the fight and urged Fury to stop the delays and finally make the bout official. His comments reflected not only the pressure from fans, but also a growing sentiment within boxing circles that this fight needs to happen now before time runs out.
You know, Tyson's that guy, though, who, whatever he's said to you or about you in the past, when he's face-to-face with you, for some reason, it all kind of goes. Do you know what I mean? Like, he slagged me off to the hills over the years. I think we get on all right now. But even when he would slag me off and I would slag him off, when he saw me at a show, it's like it never happened. So, like, he slated Bellew, and then you see him at Soccer Aid, like, and I was like looking at Tony thinking, because Tony's a little, like, Tony will remember what was said, but Tyson, listen, Tyson plays up this great, he's a huge personality. Great personality, great for boxing. So just sign the contract, big boy.
Despite the intense focus on Fury's words and his career trajectory, there's still speculation surrounding his long-term intentions in boxing. Promoter Frank Warren recently commented on the possibility of Fury stepping away from the sport, but also confirmed that talks for the Joshua fight in 2025 are very real. According to Warren, Fury remains motivated and is eyeing another massive payday, especially if the Wembley clash comes together. Retirement talk may linger in the background, but right now the fire to compete and dominate still burns strong in Fury.
Yeah, look, there's been discussions ongoing about what's next for AJ. He's obviously taken some time. He had a minor surgery, as he spoke about, back in May. The key is to get him back fit, active. Whatever decision he makes next in terms of fights is going to be the biggest decision of his career. So we've got to get it right. But there's big fights to be made. I believe AJ is still the biggest commercial name in the heavyweight division, and active. There's big fights, whether it's Tyson Fury, whether there's the likes of the Deontay Wilder fight if he comes back with a win, Usyk Dubois fight again on July 19th as well. So it's exciting times for the heavyweights, and we're excited to see AJ back. But when he's back, he's got to come back 100%, and that's always been the focus for us.
I love the way Frank Smith said the biggest commercial name there, and Frank Warren just smiled. Didn't say anything, just smiled.
If you're as pumped as we are about Tyson Fury's potential comeback and the long-awaited clash with Anthony Joshua, you're not alone. The heavyweight division is buzzing with excitement, drama, and big questions about what's next for these British boxing giants. Will Fury step back into the ring for that trilogy fight with Usyk, or will the Joshua showdown finally happen? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the boxing world is watching every move closely. If you want to stay ahead of all the latest updates, insider analysis, and fight breakdowns, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out. Drop a comment below with your prediction. Stay tuned, because the next chapter in heavyweight boxing history is just around the corner.